All right, Shalom. Want to give all praise to Yahweh Shemiah Shai. Also want to give double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to all the brothers out there striving to be of the hopeful elect, of the elect. And peace and salutations to the sisters who are out there. All right, not getting emotional and continuing in belief and faith in Yahweh Shemiah Shai. And getting themselves prepared for his second coming to the best of their abilities. All right. Today, I just wanted to do a lesson dealing with everything. We were warned pretty much by Yahweh Shai in his own words that these days would come. And I also wanted to give a few examples of the things that he had to endure of his own people and the things that we're going to have to endure. You know, like the scriptures say that I'm going to read, the servant is not above his master. And everything that's happening now is just test run. It's just a trial run because it's about to get 1,000 times worse for us as the men of the Lord. So wisdom is trying us, seeing who he may trust, seeing who's going to remain faithful within the body and who's going to continue in pushing the word, versus who's going to get caught up in the WWE back and forth and lose focus. All right. The bottom line is that we were warned that these things would happen, and we are supposed to respond and stand in the face of adversity, not for ourselves, you know, but for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You know, the battle of the flesh and the battle. You know, because we all want to defend ourselves. We all want to make our points. We all want to pretty much, you know, because it's just the flesh. You know, you have those emotions. You see the stuff said about you. You see the stuff, the lies and the way people can take, you know, what you're saying and your words and make it into this and this and that. And you see the influence of it is working, you know. But one thing we have to understand in this truth, and when you read the scriptures, is that Yahweh by Shemiah Shai always gave the opposition their platform. They always had influence. They always had complaints. You know. Now the bottom line is when Yahweh by Shemiah Shai, when Yahweh Shai make his second return, who will be found worthy? Who will be laboring in the faith? Who will be edifying the body? These are the things that we need to be focused on and understand that Satan is going to try to get you into a carnal back and forth. All right. And that's not what we're here for. So without further ado, let's just get into some scriptures and get some understanding here on what Yahweh Shai told us we would be going through. So this is Matthew, the 10th chapter. All right. And I start at 19. Then we'll get a few examples of what the Messiah had to endure, and Lord willing, you brothers and sisters are edified. So this is Matthew 10 and 19. It says, but when they deliver you up, take no thought for what you shall say, speak, or how. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall say, speak. For it shall be given you in that same hour what you shall speak. All right? For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. All right, verse 21. It says, and brother shall deliver up brother to death. All right, and we're seeing that right now on a spiritual level. Men that 1 week or a week before told you they loved you, you know, the next week you the worst thing in the world. They're willing to put your business out there. You know, they're willing to put you in situations of despair, you know, meaning if they had the power, they would kill you, you know. And, you know, one thing we got to understand is how our story is correlating to the Messiah's is that before he was crucified, he went to a council with his own people, and all they did was tell lies on him and speak things badly about him. You know, here it is. I did a video the other day speaking on the wickedness of Esau and how the ecosystem is messed up. You know, and a scoffer comes on, a known scoffer, I'm not gonna say his name. He comes onto the video and he's like, "How Esau ain't God? How he gonna do that? Y'all niggas need to leave that coat, blah blah blah." And it's like, and it drives you mad, and it makes you, you know, like sometimes it really bothers you. But we have to understand that these things were prophesied. These are the men who came up against the Messiah, you know. Because we're going to give you an example in Luke the 4th chapter, when Yahushua returned to his hometown to read the scriptures and go into the temple, which was a tradition. They tried to kill him, man. And that's what you're seeing happening now. Even when you try to leave off from the back and forth and go into the prophecies, all right, Jake is going to try to turn it around and into their emotion, man, and curse you out and cast you out to be evil. That's going into this scripture here. We were warned by Yahushua right here. It says, verse 21 in Matthew the 10, "And brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death." All right, and that's the spirit and vibe that's out not only in the whole world, but in Israel. This is the spirit that is being pushed. You know, the men who have been laboring and who have put aside their lives, you know, all through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and endured through all of the splits and everything. You know, you have men who come and learn from them, get edification, but then there comes a point where they get proud and say, "We don't need you," blah 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 blah. But you know, we have to understand that there's a level of respect that we have to have as men of the Lord, and reverence for the men that were sent to teach us. But this is now being attacked. You see, verse 22, it says, "Ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved." All right, and that's essentially what this is all about, because we're coming up on some serious times. If brothers are losing it behind the little stuff that's out there now, you just wait till Esau, you know, because Satan, he needs chaos so that he can act. Satan doesn't like to deal with order. He deals in chaos to bring his order. You see? So he's causing all of this chaos, and particular things are happening in the spirit. But we have to understand that we have to endure. Our job is to endure. We are supposed to be looked at as the filth of the world on this side. You know, there's a group of men set up to have the word, but that group of men is to also be hated and spoken out against. So don't marvel when you see particular things pop up on the internet, or a carnal back and forth trying to be formed. You know, that must be. We are to be hated. It says of all men for his name's sake. You know, even men who believe that they are in this truth and believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, their intention is to merely make you look bad, all because you rebuke. And that's what happened to the Messiah. He took authority and he stood up, you know, to the scribes, the wicked scribes and Pharisees. And because of that, their whole energy turned towards getting him out of the way, not minding that they were in captivity into the Romans. They were paying tribute. You know, they weren't in their kingdom. You know, they had a temple, but that temple was destroyed. But within that temple, they had to give particular, they had to bow to Esau, so to speak. You know, but their whole energy wasn't the captivity that they were in. Their energy was put towards coming up against Yahushua, and we're going to show you some of that. It says, "But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another." All right, and then when we do that, we're cowards. You know, you got men sending people to fight brothers. You know, we're being persecuted on videos. You got all types of stuff happening with the true men of the Lord, which I'm not afraid to say that the men of Great Millstone are the men of the Lord. You know, and do you have other men of the Lord out there? You know, you got men of the Lord out there that ain't even on camera. So of course, you know. Now with that, you know, when you take that stance, you know, amongst our people, because they have a low self-esteem, it makes them uncomfortable for you to say that you're confident, you have truth, and that you believe that the men that you learn from are sent from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So you give them reverence. That stuff rubs our people the wrong way, because our people don't see themselves any more than what Esau told them they were. And then they trickle that vibe over to the truth. And anything that opposes white supremacy, or anything that opposes mediocrity or halfway doing something, it rubs Jake the wrong way. So that's another thing, we got. So they're going to persecute us, man. It says, but when they persecute you in the city, flee unto another, for verily I say unto you, you shall not have gone over all the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. And this is the point. It says, verse 24, it says, the disciple was not above his master, all right, nor the servant above his Lord, all right, and we're not above it, and, the things that are happening to us, men are laughing and scorning, but they don't realize that this is the stuff that the Messiah went through. So if he was essentially on the planet Earth, they would be doing the same thing to him, trying to find things in the flesh about him, And just understand, brothers, that when you take the stance that we take, our people are conditioned to find something about you, So they're going to be looking through stuff, and they're going to basically try to make it into you're not perfect, a scenario. Because you rebuke and you're not perfect, you're not ordained to rebuke. So we have to watch how we move. We have to watch what we say. We have to watch these social media accounts that we have. Put your stuff on private, man. Understand that Satan is looking for anything to throw off the vibe. Okay? And more so, just keep yourself in subjection, man. Hold up. So it said, hold up. Damn, thing tripping. Salaki, I'm out here. I didn't get a chance to sit at my normal spot that I come to when I come out here, but I found something pretty much that'll do for now. I got some demons over there in my spot. It's not my spot, but you know what I'm saying. So it says, the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. So you're not above Yahushua. You're going to have to go through exactly what he went through, and we're starting to see it more and more, why he had a head full of gray hairs. We're starting to see more and more what he had to endure, because, you try to come and you try to do the things that it says to do, in order to be counted worthy. Rebuke, exhort, prophesy. And that's just not enough for our people, especially when you get on them. When our people are got on, or when they, or when, manhood also makes our people, Yahushua was an austere man. So manhood, even back then, when manliness was more of an end thing, it challenged our people. It really made them uncomfortable, because they love this captivity, man. What Esau said a man or a preacher should be, that's what they really are fighting in their heads. Love. They don't understand the balance. They don't understand the side of it, that, the men of the Lord that you're reading about in the scriptures were merely men in the flesh who had their shit with them, But they were ordained by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And it's easy for our people to read about Isaiah, Zephaniah, Nahum, Micah, Haggai, and all the rest of the prophets, the apostles, and all of that. They read about them and their imperfections, and it's cool. But a man comes on the planet Earth doing the same exact thing in their time, and they have everything to say about it, man. So we're going to be challenged, brothers, especially with the stance that we're taking, that we have the truth, and pushing the way that we push. Our people are naturally going to fight back against that. Our people just want to be Israelites. They don't want to have a standard. They don't want a kingdom to come. They want to be on the earth and be right. That's what they're striving for, their flesh. But we'll see how that works out for them. Salakia for the going off, but into this tangent. But you just got to address everything, man. It says, it is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. If they call the master of the house Beelzebub, who's a demon, how much more shall they call them of his household? All right. And we have to understand that household of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is back on the earth, and people do not want to believe that. You know, there's no leaders, there's no this, there's no that, there's no one truth. But we're going to stick to what the scripture said, and by doing that, our people are going to take offense, man. It's just the legacy of Israel, man. We got to deal with it, all right? So if they called him Beelzebub, what they going to call you? They calling us faggots, they calling us this, they calling us that, you know, diverting their whole attention. Here it is, Jake. They leave Great Millstone, and it's not enough love, you know. We need to edify more, all this back and forth. But then the minute they get their platform, what do? GMS, every title, GMS, 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 you know. And we'll see how that works out. But ultimately, like I said, the Lord always gave these men that platform. They believe they're the men of the Lord, and we're wicked. We believe we're the men of the Lord and they're wicked. We will see upon the Messiah's return, and even before then, we're going to have a lot of things that happen. A lot of judgment is about to happen, because the whole world is caught up in this prideful, disrespectful vibe, man. So eventually judgment is going to come, man. All right, it says, fear them not, therefore there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. All right, so we're going to find out who these wicked men are, and we're going to know them by their fruits. It says, what I tell you in darkness, that ye speak in light, and what ye hear in the ear, that preach ye up on the housetops. You got men, you know, that are afraid to go out and proclaim the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. You know, we've been endowed with the truth of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the understanding of some things in the beginning. We understand some things in prophecy. We understand what's going to happen in the end. We don't know exactly how, you know, but we've been endowed with the truth, all right, on this side, and we speak it unto our people. We know the kingdom is coming, but you got men who don't want to do that. They don't want to go out and preach this word. They would rather sit on three-way and gossip. Yeah, you know, yeah, he finished talking, then you come in. He finished, you know. That's what Jake ultimately is all about, man. If your platform mainly, you know, because you're gonna have brothers who have side pages and they do their thing, but those brothers also go out and labor and do the work, man. You know, you got men who just got pages and all they do is gossip, man. You don't see really too much of work being done, of the laboring. You know, we have enough scoffers, man, but not enough laborers, man. And for you brothers that are out there on the highways and the byways faithfully, man, pushing this word, man, may the Most High, and sincerity and truth, may the Most High bless you, brothers, man. Just know that it's going to get harder on you, because you've taken that step to do what is necessary to get to the kingdom. And because our people don't have that faith, they're going to attack yours. They want you to be faithless and doubtful like them. You know, like this dude Berman Solo. I'm going to just say his name, you know. He has all these doubts and all of this wickedness going on in his head. So even when you prophesying about Esau, he'll come on and make it about Great Millstone. Like, bro. Then you go to his page. 2 years ago, he loaded a video. 3, 4, 5 months ago, he loaded a video. And it's like, bro, what is your faith, man? Ultimately, okay, Great Millstone is wicked. We don't have the truth. We're a cult. We practice magic. We steal money. What is the truth of the Bible after that? You've proven that. Okay, we get it. And we know you're not going to stop. But what is the truth of the Bible? What is going to happen to America? And ultimately, is water going to be dirty forever? Is the air going to be polluted forever? Are animals going to have to suffer forever? You know? Is the fish in the water is going to be dying off at mass rates forever? You know? So you got to watch these guys, man. Okay? We were commanded, like it says here, what we were told in the ear, go preach ye on the housetops, man. We're supposed to be out there preaching this word, man. Prophesying. Verse 28, and fear them not which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. All right? So don't fear these guys, man. You know, these guys are here to do their job, and we're here to do our job. You know, when you feel like you took a hit or you look bad or a brother on the team look bad, that don't mean you jump off the team, man. You got to have faith, man. You got to have integrity. All right, but let's get Isaiah 53 real quick, and then we're going to get an example of Yahushua when he went back to Nazareth. A brother wanted me to do a lesson on that, so here it is. This is Isaiah 53 and 1, you know, dealing with Yahushua, because another thing we're coming into that bitter. You know, we've been endowed with this truth. You know, Yahweh Shai has allowed us to understand some things, and it was beautiful finding out you're Israelite, going into the curses and, you know, all of that. But now, especially that slave ship scripture, it makes you feel good, like, damn, this explains it, you know. But now we're living into that bitter part, you know, like it says in Sirach, wisdom is going to try you, man. You will be tried, you know, and it's truth. Wisdom will try you, man. And a lot of brothers, you know, when these things come, you know, like Yahushua said, man, when he was in that boat, I look it up, you know. Matter of fact, hold up, I look it up, because he was on a boat with the disciples, and the boat went crazy. The waters got crazy. Hold up, I'll look it up. Hold up 1 second. Mark 4 and 39. Let me look that up. All right. Bear with me. This is Mark chapter 4. And because the scriptures say, deliver me out of great waters in Psalms. And those great waters are these people, man. All right. So this is Mark chapter 4. And I started 36. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship. All right. And there were also with him other little ships. It says, and there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat up into the ship, so that it was now full. Okay. And symbolically, these waves and these waters are people, man. Hell, tribulations. You know? It says, verse 38, and when he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow, he's asleep through all. He's in comfort, you know? And they awake him and say, Master, carest thou not that we perish? You know, they went crazy, like, oh shit, man, we're about to die, you know? And when these little situations arose, you know, even the disciples in the flesh, you know, this shows you that they were merely just men in the flesh, but the power that they were given was endowed from on high, not through their flesh, man. They were nervous. They got nervous, you know, like, shit, we're about to drown, man. We're about to get, you know. And that's essentially when certain situations happen in this brotherhood or in this truth, brothers lose it, man. You know. But listen to Yahushua. It says, and he arose and rebuked the wind, because that's eventually what he's going to do. He's going to rebuke all of this madness that's going on. This stuff is not going to go on. Jake ain't going to be able to just talk shit and not edify forever. You see what I'm saying? It says, and they awake him and say, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he arose and rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And that's coming for us, for the men who are serious, man. And he said unto them, why are you so fearful? How is it that ye have no faith? And they feared exceedingly and said one to another, what manner of man is this? Even the wind and the sea obey him. Okay? So we're coming into some tough waters, man. You know, it's about to get hard on us. But one thing that I'm starting to understand is how he felt when he was on the earth with our people, man. You know, you read Jeremiah 9, Jeremiah was like, man, he basically wanted a timeshare, man. That he could go and get the hell away from Jake, man. And that's essentially what we feeling right now. We're going through that bitter part of Jake where we just want to get the hell away from him. But we got to deal with it, man. Yeah, Shar dealt with it. All right, Isaiah 53:1. Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Okay? And it starts with Yahushua, but it trickles on down to his men, those of that household, the men of the Lord, you know? It says, for he shall grow up before him as a tender part, and as a root out of dry ground. He hath no form nor comeliness. When we shall see him, there is no beauty that we shall desire him. A lot of people are looking for a show that appeases the world when they look to the men of the Lord. They're not looking to who's healing a blind, who's healing the maimed, you know, the deaf can now hear. They're not looking for the body to be sealed. You know, they're looking for some perfect show, some man in the flesh who doesn't go off, you know, some man in the flesh, you know, if you rebuke, you can't possibly have anything going on with you, you know. Now the scriptures do say, take the mote out of your eye before you tell your brother to cast out the one in his eye. All right. But we also have to understand balance, that there are going to be men set up to rebuke you on the planet Earth. And that man may have particular faults, man. This is why our nation is all messed up, because Esau has taught you to look at yourself and your brother as shit. So when any form of authority comes, Jake just gets all butthurt and overly emotional, man. You know? This is our people. That's where you got your Balus and all of these other clowns. You know, it's all good until they're called out. You know, once they're called out, then there's there's nothing else to talk about but them to get their lick back and to find fault in you. But hey, this is what we signed up for. They have their platform to do that. That's their blessing, you know, to make it carnal, man. It says he is despised and rejected of men, all right? And, you know, Yahushua came on a donkey, you know, he came lowly. Essentially, if he was here on the planet Earth, they would talk shit about him too. They say we're bums, they say we're this, they say we're that. You know, that's just, you know, Jake doesn't have confidence in themselves, so carnal gain and carnal and material things make them of worth, and people who don't boast in those things are of less. It says he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. All right, and that was the Messiah, man. A man of sorrows, man. His people did nothing but reject him, man. And we're gonna get you with that story, man. And Luke, when he went back to the hood, you got a lot of people making this argument. Well, why don't y'all go to the hoods? We've tried that already, all right? And we're going to show you what happened when Yahushua went to the hood. All right, it says, a man of sorrows acquainted with grief. All right, and I believe when you look up this word, it goes into sickness. Constantly being stressed out leads to sickness, you know? And I myself am one of those men who suffer from constant sickness, man. You know, no matter how many herbs you take, no matter how good you take care of your body, sickness comes. You know, the condition of the earth. You got to imagine, this was the man who was given the blueprint to form the earth, and you know the other angels aided him, and then here he is on the planet Earth, and his own creation is bucking up against him. You know, so he had a lot of hell, man. He was constantly like, what the fuck? Every time he turned around, Israelites were trying to trap him up in his words. Because why? He came with authority. He came through in the spirit. Like Micah said, I am endowed with the spirit to show unto Jacob his transgression. When you do that, our people are going to get mad. They don't like it. So he is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten, of the Most High and afflicted. And as the elect body, the men who come in his stead that are of that household that Jake is trying to deny even exists, you know, you're going to have to go through that too, because through the 144,000 men, our nation is going to be established. And we have to take that upon ourselves and continue doing the work in the face of it all. But through us is the kingdom going to be established, man. Order is going to be established through the 144, man. You see? So, you know, if you take up on that authority and you are of that lot, you're going to have to go through exactly what he went through, man. It all starts with Yahushua, you know, but it trickles down to his men. You see? All right. It says, surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. And that's how people are going to look at us. And that's how they looked at him. He can't be of the Most High, can't be dealing with him. Look at all of the hate he receives. That's how Jake looks for a leader. All right. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of his peace of our peace was upon him. And with his stripes we are healed, you know. So with his stripes we are healed. And with the stripes that we're receiving here on this side, will the whole nation, you know, starting with the elect, eventually be healed, man. And we are like sheep. We like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her she bears is dumb. So he opened not his mouth. So he spoke the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He never sought to defend himself. You know, a lot of us see all of this stuff being said about us, and we really, really want to defend ourselves. And, you know, because men make these videos and they don't know the whole stories. You know, like the brother with the BET tickets. He didn't go to those awards, but I know he really wants to get on video and say that. You know? How do you know he went to the awards? Because he had the tickets? What if he sold the tickets? What if he was selling the tickets? What if he has access to stuff like that and he just sells it, you know, to get money and help the body? You don't know that he went to the BET Awards. The man didn't go to the BET Awards. But you're going to have these things being put out there as if, you know, and Jake don't care, man. They just get emotional and say stuff. But we can't, you know, we got to take it. And essentially, that's what the Messiah had to go through. So he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. You know, he only spoke the words of his Father. He only spoke of the kingdom of heaven. And that's what we have to fight to do. This is a part of our fight. You know, they made videos on me. They made videos on all the apostles and elders, tripping up their words and making things, you know. And they may make a video to where they may be right in their point, but the way they're going about it is all out of the spirit, so it don't count, you know. And we are to, you know, even when we see these things, if it's right, hey, we repent and get ourselves together. But these niggas are just plain wicked, man. And they're seeking to destroy our whole image and everything we stand for. So that naturally makes you want to defend yourself. Nah, we're not here to defend ourselves. We're here to defend Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. All right, said he was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off of the land of the living. For the transgressors of my people was he stricken. All right, he made the grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was there any deceit found in his mouth. Yet it pleased the Most High Yahweh to bruise him. Ye have put him to grief, when thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin. Now, who is this talking about, man? That's another thing, you Old Testament only cats. Who is this talking about? Jacob say it's talking about Israel. Okay, you know. But ultimately, when you read that chapter, it's just talking about the hell that Yahushua had to go through from his people. All right, and now let's get to Luke, so we can get an example, and we'll get out of here.